So the dragon symbol in Chinese culture is a very big thing. It embodies power, strength, and positivity in Chinese culture. But this the dragon deal seemed to be the gift that keeps on giving. And I think nobody knows at the moment if it's going to be something positive or negative at the end of the day. But I feel like we have been talking about this dragon gas deal for a very long time. So I've been having some conversation about this deal with some folks in Trinidad and Tobago, and we saw an update yesterday that the American government, they granted an OFAC license to Trinidad and Tobago to go negotiate with Venezuela on the dragon gas deal. And based on the conversation that I've been having with some of my Trini brothers and sisters, there are two sides that people are really looking at. And number one, people are saying that, look, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamala Besessa, she's a genius negotiator, and that is why this license is going to be successful, and the dragon gas deal is going to be a success story for the UNC government. The other part of the conversation is people talking about this dragon gas deal, and this could be like collusion between the American government and the UNC government, and the fact that they would have pulled the OFAC license just a few months before the general election and then reinstate it after the election. So is this collusion, or is the Prime Minister just a genius? Let's talk about it. Yes, so if you're not the type of person that follow geopolitics and you're only comfortable dealing with politics in your home country, this might seem a bit confusing to you. Like, trust me, a lot of people are very confused about this deal, because it's like just 7-8 months ago, the dragon gas deal was there under the PNM government. Everything was okay. The Trinidadians and Venezuelans, they were living in love, peace, and harmony, and the dragon gas deal was there. Just a few months before the election, then the Trump administration, they revoked that license. So the dragon gas deal was off the table. And we saw the whole election thing leading up to the election. And I remember the opposition leader at the time, Kamala Besessa, saying that, look, the PNM government, they are putting all their eggs in the dragon basket, and that is not a good plan for the people of Trinidad and Tobago going forward. So we saw the dragon gas license taken away, and at the time reporting on it, and a lot of UNC supporter was saying that, look, Keith Rowley and Stuart Young, like, they were in some corruption deal with the Venezuelan government, and this was not a good deal for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And a lot of people were celebrating the dragon gas deal being taken away, which I found to be a bit strange, because this was a deal that would benefit Trinidadian, it would benefit Venezuelan, and it would benefit the big American companies. So to celebrate something that the country would have benefited from, I just didn't understand it. So now, fast forward. Yesterday we are getting a news coming out of the Trinidad and Tobago now that, look, the American government decided that they are going to reinstate this license. The dragon gas license is back on the table. So just in case you have not seen this report coming out of Trinidad and Tobago, this was what was said yesterday.
Good morning, colleagues. On behalf of the Honorable Prime Minister and the Government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, I am pleased to announce that the Department of the Treasury of the United States has granted the OFAC license that was applied for by this government and the National Gas Company to pursue the exploration of the Dragon gas field. The grant of this license represents the result of the diligent and dedicated diplomacy of the Prime Minister and her government. The license, which was granted yesterday, was granted pursuant to powers conferred by U.S. law in the Venezuela Sanctions Regulation. It was issued under certain executive orders, and it authorizes U.S. persons, including employees, affiliates, contractors, and service providers employed by or acting on behalf of or for the direct or indirect benefit of the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago Limited, Shell PLC, Futura Clara Limited, and their subsidiaries and their affiliates and contractors to engage in transactions ordinarily incident and necessary to negotiations with the government of Venezuela.
So as I said, I've been communicating with people on both sides of this, people that support the UNC government and people that support the PNM government, and two different perspectives. So a lot of people that support the UNC government, they're looking at this as a big win for the government and for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm trying to figure out why. Like, I'm asking questions. What is the difference with this deal from the deal that was there before? Because the former Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, from what I know, they were working on this deal for like 9 years, and a lot of hard work went into it. And I was trying to figure out from the people that are supporting this deal now, some of the same people that were saying, like 6-8 months ago, they were saying that this was a corrupt deal and that Dr. Keith Rowley and Stuart Young, that they were in some type of corrupt type of relationship with the Venezuelan government. And a lot of people, they were saying that they did not like the deal and they're happy. They were pretty much celebrating when the license was taken away by the Americans. So in talking to people, I'm like, what is the difference? Like, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, she went to Washington, D.C. for like 1 day and spoke to Marco Rubio, and this deal is back on the table. Is there something that's missing? There's something that the public don't know. What would make this deal so much different, so much better than the deal that was there under the previous administration? And what in this deal? Remember, as I said, the PNM government, they were working on this deal for like 9 years from what I was told. So what is so different about this deal that the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, she would have gone into Washington, D.C. with a group of a delegation from Trinidad and Tobago and spoke about this deal for 1 day, and now she's seen as a genius, and she's the one that is the reason why this deal is back on the table. And mark my word, like, even though we're talking about this as if it's a done deal, Venezuela, we haven't heard anything from Venezuela yet. So that was one of the perspective. The other perspective, so people that support the PNM government have a different perspective. And from hearing the news yesterday and talking to a few people about this deal, this is a perspective that no one is talking about on mainstream media. I'm sure that there are people talking about it in the barbershop and in the bar in Trinidad and Tobago, but I have not heard this conversation on mainstream media. And people, what a lot of people are saying, or what's out there in the street, especially after this, is the possibility of collusion. And collusion, I know when people think about Caribbean island nations, they don't really think about collusion. I know there's a big deal about, election interference and collusion, the Russia collusion in the American election. But when people think about the Caribbean, they're like, the Caribbean is just like some small islands, like no collusion or political interference is happening there. But this perspective is that, what if the American government colluded with the UNC government because they wanted the UNC government in office? And that is a conversation that people are having, from what I've been told, in the barbershops, in the bar, and people are talking about this. PNM supporters are talking about this, that everything that's happening now just look too suspicious. As I said, Donald Trump came into office early this year. And one of the first big thing that Donald Trump did was he took away this license from from the PNM government pretty much, because the PNM government, they have been working on this for a long time. He took away the license, and people are saying, did that impact the election? Because one of the things that we remember from last year with Dr. Keith Rowley, and they were running heavily on this deal, that this deal could restore confidence in the market in Trinidad and Tobago, and this deal was taken away right during an election cycle. So people in the streets now, people are saying that this just looks suspicious, that would have been taken away a few weeks before the election, and then after the election, we see now this whole thing about war in the Caribbean and all these ships in the Caribbean, and Donald Trump talking about he don't want the people of the government of Venezuela to benefit from their own gas, natural oil or gas. And then all of a sudden we see a new license issued to Trinidad and Tobago. So is it a case that the Trump administration, they are more comfortable working with this administration? And we have seen since the election, a lot of people are comparing the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago now, like they are calling her the female version of Donald Trump. So is this a possibility that the American government wanted to work with her, and that was one of the reasons why the license was pulled from the PNM government right before the election? I don't know, but that's the word in the street. So guys, sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Which side are you on? Do you think that, look, this new license, this new Dragon gas deal license is a big thing for Trinidad and Tobago? Do you support it? Do you think that this shows that the Prime Minister, she's like a political genius and she know how to negotiate? That is number one. Or number two, do you think that this was political interference, collusion between the American government and the UNC government, because they wanted, people are saying, like a puppet government in office? They wanted someone that they can just pull the strings, and the Trump administration, people are even mentioning that even the last Trump administration, they weren't seeing eye to eye with Dr. Keith Rowley when Trump was president before, because they did not have a good relationship. But now, Trump have someone in office like a puppet that they can just pull the strings. That is what a lot of PNM supporters are saying. So sound off in the comment section and let me know which side of this are you on. Is the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago a political genius for getting this deal? That is number one. Or number two, was this political collusion and the Trump administration just wanted someone that they could work with? So that is the reason why they're granting this new license. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.